How does a millionaire vanish without a trace? It's a question that has puzzled many for years. The story of Henry Blackwood is one that has intrigued and mystified people from all walks of life. A man of immense wealth and influence, Blackwood seemed to have it all, but one day, he simply disappeared. One minute they're there, living the high life, surrounded by luxury, opulence, and the finest things money can buy. Blackwood was no different. He was often seen at the most exclusive parties, driving the most expensive cars, and sailing on his private yacht. His life was a picture of success and extravagance. The next, they're gone, erased. His mansion was found empty, his belongings scattered as if he had left in a hurry. His car was abandoned and his laptop was closed, as if he had just stepped away for a moment. But he never returned. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. That's the question that haunts the tale of Henry Blackwood, a man who vanished from the face of the earth. His disappearance made headlines and his face was plastered on newspapers and television screens. People couldn't believe that someone so prominent could just disappear without a trace. His story is a tangled web of wealth, secrecy, and suspicion. Blackwood was known to have dealings in various industries, and his financial records were complex and difficult to decipher. There were whispers of secret meetings and shady deals, adding to the mystery of his disappearance. It's a mystery that has baffled the best, leaving behind more questions than answers. Investigators pored over every detail, trying to piece together what happened. They followed leads, interviewed witnesses, and examined documents, but the more they dug, the more confusing the case became. Blackwood's disappearance wasn't just another news story. It became an obsession. Journalists, detectives, and even ordinary people became fixated on the case. Theories and speculations ran wild, with everyone trying to solve the puzzle of what happened to Henry Blackwood. People whispered about it in hushed tones, their eyes darting around as if the answer might be hiding in plain sight. In bars, cafes, and offices, the topic of Blackwood's disappearance was on everyone's lips. It was a mystery that captured the imagination and fear of many, but the truth, like Blackwood himself, remained elusive. Despite all the efforts, the real story behind his disappearance was never uncovered. It remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries, a tale of a man who had everything but vanished without a trace. Henry Blackwood was a self-made man. Born into a modest family, he had to fight for every inch of his success. From a young age, he displayed an uncanny knack for business, turning small ventures into profitable enterprises. His journey was anything but easy, marked by countless sleepless nights and relentless determination. He built his empire from scratch, starting with a small construction company that he grew into a multinational conglomerate. His vision was clear, and his ambition knew no bounds. He was not just building structures, he was building a legacy. His sharp mind and even sharper instincts guided him through the turbulent waters of the business world. He had an uncanny ability to foresee market trends and capitalize on them before anyone else. His decisions were often bold, sometimes controversial, but almost always successful. He was a titan of industry, his name synonymous with success. Newspapers and magazines frequently featured him, hailing him as a visionary and a genius. His influence extended beyond business. He was a philanthropist, a mentor, and a role model for aspiring entrepreneurs. He had everything money could buy, a sprawling mansion overlooking the city, filled with priceless art and rare artifacts. His home was a testament to his success, a place where he could entertain the elite and showcase his achievements. A fleet of luxury cars, each one a symbol of his status and taste. From vintage classics to the latest models, his collection was the envy of many. Each car was meticulously maintained, reflecting his attention to detail and love for perfection, and a life of extravagant ease. Lavish parties, exclusive events, and a social circle that included the who's who of society. He lived a life that many could only dream of, surrounded by luxury and opulence. But behind the glittering facade, there were whispers. Whispers of ruthlessness, of a man who would stop at nothing to achieve his goals. Some said he had a dark side, a side that was willing to bend the rules and exploit loopholes. Whispers of shady deals struck in dimly lit back rooms. Deals that were as secretive as they were lucrative. He was rumored to have connections in the underworld, alliances that helped him eliminate competition and secure his empire. Some said Blackwood had made enemies, dangerous men who wouldn't hesitate to silence him permanently. His rise to power had not been without its casualties, and there were those who harbored grudges, waiting for the right moment to strike. Others claimed he was haunted by a past he couldn't escape, skeletons rattling in his gilded closet. Despite his success, there were moments when he seemed distant, lost in thoughts of a time long gone, a time that perhaps held secrets too dark to reveal. It was a day like any other when Blackwood vanished. The sun was shining, birds were singing, and the world went about its business. Blackwood had started his day as usual, with a swim in his indoor pool and a breakfast of strong coffee and even stronger ambition. He'd had a meeting scheduled for later that morning, a billion-dollar deal that promised to shake up the industry, but Blackwood never showed. His phone went straight to voicemail. His office remained empty. By nightfall, panic had set in. The investigation into Blackwood's disappearance was swift and thorough. Detectives swarmed his mansion, combing through every inch of the palatial estate. They interviewed his staff, his business associates, even his ex-wives, all the while searching for a clue, a lead, anything to shed light on the mystery. But the more they dug, the more confusing it became. Blackwood seemed to have vanished into thin air, leaving behind no trace, no message, no indication of where he might have gone or why. The lack of evidence only fueled the rumors, turning whispers into a deafening roar. One of the most perplexing aspects of the case was Blackwood's finances. His wealth was legendary, amassed through a series of shrewd investments and business ventures that spanned the globe. Yet, despite his vast fortune, there were whispers of financial troubles, rumors that he was over-leveraged and living beyond his means. In the days leading up to his disappearance, he had withdrawn a significant amount of money from his accounts, millions of dollars, all in cash. This was highly unusual for a man who typically conducted his transactions through digital means, leaving a clear paper trail. Why would a man who had everything need that much money? Was he planning a major investment, or was there something more sinister at play? His closest associates were baffled, unable to provide any insight into his sudden need for liquid assets. And where did it go? The money seemed to vanish without a trace, leaving investigators with more questions than answers. Some speculated that it had been hidden in offshore accounts, while others believed it had been converted into untraceable assets like gold or cryptocurrency. Some speculated that Blackwood had been planning his escape all along, squirreling away funds for a new life far away from the prying eyes and wagging tongues of high society. Perhaps he had grown tired of the constant scrutiny and decided to start anew in a place where no one knew his name. Others believed the money was a ransom payment, proof that Blackwood had been taken against his will. The theory was that he had been kidnapped by someone who knew his financial situation intimately, someone who could leverage his wealth for their own gain. But the truth, like the missing millions, remained elusive. Despite extensive investigations and numerous theories, the mystery of Blackwood's finances continued to baffle everyone involved. Was it a case of financial mismanagement, a carefully orchestrated escape, or something far more sinister? The answers, it seemed, were as hidden as the money itself. Theories and speculations, a calculated escape? The theory that Blackwood had orchestrated his own disappearance was a popular one. After all, he was a master strategist, a man who always seemed to be 10 steps ahead of everyone else. He knew the ins and outs of the financial world, how to move money without leaving a trace. Perhaps he was tired of the relentless pressure, the constant scrutiny, the fear that his past would catch up to him. Maybe he'd simply decided to walk away from it all, to start over with a new identity in some far-flung corner of the world. Theories and speculations, the foul play factor. However, there were those who believed that Blackwood's disappearance was not a matter of choice. They pointed to the large sum of money he had withdrawn, suggesting it was a ransom payment gone wrong. Perhaps Blackwood had become embroiled in something dangerous, something he couldn't handle. Had he crossed the wrong people, made enemies of powerful figures who wouldn't hesitate to silence him permanently? The possibility of foul play hung over the investigation like a shroud, a chilling reminder that even millionaires weren't immune to the darker aspects of human nature. The unsolved puzzle. Years have passed since Henry Blackwood vanished without a trace. The initial frenzy of media attention has died down, replaced by a cold case file gathering dust in some forgotten corner of police headquarters. But the mystery remains, as perplexing as ever. Did he escape to a life of anonymity, his vast fortune funding a new beginning? Or was he the victim of foul play, his fate a grim reminder that some secrets are best left buried? The answer, like Henry Blackwood himself, remains lost in the shadows. More mysteries to unravel. The disappearance of Henry Blackwood is just one of countless unsolved mysteries that continue to fascinate and frustrate us. If you're intrigued by tales of vanishing millionaires and enigmatic disappearances, delve into the world of unsolved crimes and unexplained events. You never know what secrets you might uncover. Click here to explore more captivating mysteries and unsolved cases, link to a website or blog about true crime or unsolved mysteries,